Well, big up, big up, big up. Welcome to the Liverpool 12 Minute Show. We are, I know, probably going to be up against, we'll probably see some people join us pretty soon here. I know that I went live just right before this Manchester United Bournemouth game goes to halftime. It is 1-1 in this game, by the way, which is phenomenal. And right now, Semenyo taking a little, just he kind of just went at Dalot, probably because Dalot undercut him, telling him to shut up, and I think Semenyo might. He went for his throat. So not exactly. Dalot gets a yellow card. Semenyo has gotten a yellow card in this. A little bit of this. He's lucky not to see something worse than that, but it wasn't really. He went for his neck, but he didn't really he didn't really choke him or go excessive with it. Oh. And sorry about that. For some reason my light just fell over. It got my light just reacted to Bournemouth almost scoring right there. That was pretty wild. But yeah, so here we are. I'm gonna get this set up here. Sorry about that. A little off screen here. All right. Hopefully that's set. There you go. All right, we are back. There you go. That's a little bit tougher than Advi. We got Lee in the house with us as well. Got the Scouts in the house. This game is about to go to, like I said, it's about to go to halftime. But we're not here because of the game. We are here because we're going to talk about some Liverpool news. Talk about the team. Talk about where we are at with some of the updates that have just happened. And also primarily, answer your questions, have a good conversation, and really get involved with some good discourse between all of us. So it is, again, 1-1. They're going 5 minutes extra time. So I'll keep you updated with that score and with that game. But let's get this show started. Lee, are you ready to rock and roll with us?
Yeah.
Oh, let me take you off mute here.
My mic on, yeah. That's an improvement to the scoreline, 1-1.
Yeah.
Well done, Bournemouth.
Yeah, Lee joined the broadcast here when they were up 1-0, and it wasn't looking good, to be honest with you. It wasn't looking good at all. I think at that time when he joined, Manchester United had 12 shots, Bournemouth won. So I was just like, oof. This game's not panning out well, but much like Old Toilet, little stinker. And we're back at even. But we'll see where it goes from there. Let's get into some Reds talk, though. Shout out to all those that are joining us, by the way. Big up to each and every one of you. Reds family, of course, is always the primary focus, but also if you're not a Reds fan, part of the Reds family, if you're a rival or if you're a neutral, welcome to you as company to the channel. We appreciate you joining us. But tonight is one of those shows where you're reminded Liverpool is not just a team, it's a living timeline. It's legends, it's loyalty, it's pain, it's pride, and it's the real stuff that hits harder than a result ever will. Excuse me. We've got a full runway tonight to have the Liverbird take off on. It is, first we'll talk about Ian Rush and why this matters beyond football. We'll talk about then we will pivot into the injury update and Slot's choices for Spurs, at least the choices that he has open to be for Spurs game. Then we will hit the Wirtz incident and the referee verdict that's got everyone definitely talking. I saw that they did a little bit of an update on that story. So I know that we talked about it yesterday, but I wanted to I wanted to talk about it again today. And then we step back and ask, what does Liverpool actually need to be at Spurs? We'll talk about Konaté's contract drama and the growing belief Hughes is preparing to sign not one, but two center halves. Then we will land on Salah, the message, the record, the AFCON departure. And finally, this is the main topic of the show. Oh my God, they did not just score. Who is in net for Bournemouth, man? What? Oh my gosh. Yeah, get up. Petrovic? Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Sorry to react that way in the middle of my intro here, but that was an absolutely horrible goal. Absolutely horrible goal.
What, they're back in front?
2-1. Casemiro just scored. 4 minutes into extra 4 minutes. I don't even know what that is basic goalkeeping right there. He headed it into the ground. The ball bounced up and went by the keeper. It was so bad, dude. It was so bad. Like, that is pathetic. That's something I expect to see at like my nephew's like youth academy or something like that.
Sounds bad.
Oh, it was bad.
It's a bit of luck for United. Amarin's been waiting for a bit of luck and a few results, and he's getting them. But it doesn't bother me. We'll be ahead of them in the league before too long. Like, that ain't gonna go on for too long.
I told there was someone on Twitter, and they were talking about, if Manchester United win today, they go ahead of us, and they're making a big thing about it. And I'm like, well, you know what? Ask Manchester United how they're doing in Champions League this year. Or how they're doing in Europe. What's their record in Europe this year? Fantastic. Manchester United are
it's 100% their records in Europe this year. 100% record.
Yeah, 100% like not playing. Yep. So that's what it is. Red Armchair supporter, big up to you, brother. Good to see you. Oh man. What's the last subject is a big one, a big subject for us, because we're going to talk about, it's the main topic, it's the main subject, it's the one that we're going to go into real depth in, and that is what's next for Salah and Liverpool, and what we know, what we don't, in the starting 11 dilemma that's waiting on the other side of AFCON. We'll get more involved in that, but I can't believe that Semenyo scored the goal for them in the 40th minute. Then Casemiro just scored in the 49th minute. That's poor. Very, very poor. All right. That just went to halftime. Let's get into our stories. Let's just jump right into this and go into something that I thought was important, at least, because it's a beloved player. It's someone that I know a lot of us appreciate, because he now is, even though he's no longer a player for us, he's still connected with the team. He still serves as an ambassador. I believe that is his official. I believe that's his official title. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Ian Rush is in the hospital right now. He's recovering in the hospital. So I wanted to talk about, before we talk about lineups and before we talk about Spurs and before we talk about anything tactical, let's talk about our Liverpool legend, Ian Rush. Liverpool's all-time leading goal scorer is recovering in the hospital right now after spending 2 days in intensive care with the flu. He had breathing difficulties, and thank goodness he's now in a place where he can recover with proper care. And listen, it's easy, especially online, to reduce players to highlights and numbers. I get that. But Rush isn't just 346 goals. Rush is part of the identity of what Liverpool felt like at its most ruthlessness. That era when you didn't just hope to win, you expected to win, because you had finishers who lived for the moment, like himself. And when you hear ICU, when you hear breathing difficulties, it shakes you out of the football bubble instantly. This is one of our legends, one of the faces of our club, one of the names a lot of us grew up hearing like it was a myth, and then you realize, no, these people are real people. So from all of us at the channel, and I'm sure in the chat, and I'm sure Lee will back me up on this. Get well soon, Rushy. Football can wait. The season can wait. Debates can wait. Blah blah blah. We're with you. And I'll say this: with there is a case where this is like a advisory. Take care of yourselves out there. I was just talking to Lee about myself. I had a bad little bout, almost having to go to the emergency room last night. Type bout. So I understand exactly what it's like to be really, really up against it. Let's call it that. And with the flu picking up, especially in the UK, that's what I hear. At least you can. I'm sure Lee could be better served to tell us what is going on. But it's a reminder: look after yourselves, look after your loved ones. Sometimes I think the most Liverpool thing you can do is to show care when it actually counts, and that is to find time for yourself and for your loved ones in your life to make sure that they're healthy and present. So, Lee, did you want to comment on this one, or did you want to just move on?
Yeah, I hope Rushy gets well soon. We need Rushy in the world for a while. Yeah, we've got to be keeping Rushy around, and I just hope he gets well soon. I'm sure he'll pull through, like whatever it is. But best wishes to Rushy, like, and hope he's better soon.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the report was it's the flu, but
can be really bad on it. Yeah, it can be really bad once you're getting on in years, like the flu. And there is a bad load going about. I know there is. There's a bad one going about. I don't know if Rushy still lives on Merseyside, but there is one going about at the moment.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope the best for Ian, and absolutely understand that.
Do you want to hear something funny? Right, I googled Ian Rush as Liverpool's top scorer to look at how many goals he'd scored in all, and it had Ian Rush, Liverpool's top scorer, and gave you his goal scoring record. And to the right of it, it had a picture of Ian Callaghan, who is Liverpool's record appearance holder, not Liverpool's record goal scorer. He is called Ian, but he's not Ian Rush, he's Ian Callaghan. And it's probably still there. Do it yourself if you fancy a laugh, if you're that way inclined. But bad mistake to me.
Google give you some kudos points if you tell them that they got that their algorithm got it wrong. Definitely.
Funny one.
Ian Callaghan. That record is possibly is that record going to? Oh no, it won't be. I was thinking something else.
Cara couldn't break it. Cara was here forever, wasn't he? And Gerrard was here for a long time, but they couldn't break Callie's appearance record.
Yeah. All right, from a legend we all love to a squad that I hopefully that majority of us all still love, and it's starting to feel like it's being held together by tape and willpower, but it's getting back to a place where maybe we can certainly find some restitute for, and that is so Slot's update is basically good news, bad news, and we'll see. And what I mean by that is this. Gosh, I'm sorry. They just showed the Petrovic replay again. Let's start with the bad news because it's the bit that impacts structure immediately. Okay, so let's talk about the bad news first. Then we can talk about the good news. And then we'll talk about what's in between, Joe Gomez goes off with what looks like a muscle injury. And Slot basically tells us, without dressing it up, that when a player pulls up like that, it's rarely a quick turnaround. So don't expect him next week. Don't expect him anytime soon. And then there's Dominic Szoboszlai. Dominic Szoboszlai, ankle injury, needed scans.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's actually, you're out for weeks. And you only find out once you've done the proper checks. So they're going about doing the proper checks. Hopefully that turns out for the best.
Oh, mate, we need that. With Mo going to AFCON, we need Szoboszlai. I mean, it's criminal, really, what's happened to Joe, but that's, you know what I mean? It's been a thing with Joe for a while now, and we were worried, but we had no choice. I just wanted him in the team. There were others saying, no, don't play him because he's the only cover we've got, and I get that, but we were bloody desperate for a result, and I'm glad he did pick him for a couple of games. Yes, he's injured, but we needed him in those games because we had no Bradley, we had no Frimpong.
We had no other choice.
We didn't want to play Szoboszlai at right back, so what else were we going to do? The only thing we could have done was put Ramsey in or Endo, and I didn't fancy either of them. I thought Joe helped us to those results. Like, look, it's unfortunate, but to be honest, it might actually force FSG's hand a little bit more in January, so it might have some benefit to it, his injury. Because we couldn't have went through till May with 3. Now, never mind with 2. So they're going to have to do something, aren't they, FSG, in the transfer window in January? They had to anyway, but this has made it all the more necessary. A centre-back signing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. So Lee giving us a little bit of teaser, a little teaser as to what we got coming up in the show. But well, let's talk about good news then. Now, here's the good news. The good news is, one, I get to see Dua Lipa on the television a little bit more than expected now that the Olympics are coming up, apparently. And also, beyond that, Connor Bradley returns. That's not a minor detail, people. That's a stability detail. Connor Bradley is important to us. I know some people don't necessarily rate him as our right back. I do, but there are those that don't. And that's not a minor detail, again, because when Bradley is available, Liverpool can stop doing this desperate who can cosplay as a right back today type nonsense. We're not going to be able to utilize Dominic Szoboszlai in that role. We finally have Curtis Jones really playing well in the midfield, and I don't want to see that as being a stopgap. I don't even want to see Endo having to play right back for us, even though I would love to see Endo play, I don't want to see him at right back, plumb at DM. But it is big. And then Slot has also said this, Jeremy Frimpong. Yes, I did say that name. Jeremy Frimpong should be back in training. That's another big lever, because if Frimpong is truly in contention, it changes how you manage your wide threats and how you manage your protection of the rotation and transition and all the likes. So I'm going to zoom out for a second and say Liverpool finally get a rare week where we'll have a week off in the middle of all this chaos and work to the grind style scheduling, because a week doesn't sound incredible. It's what Manchester United, teams like Manchester United get to enjoy, considering they're not in Europe, for instance. Yes, we get that. But being a team that is competing on levels that we are, it's important when we have these rare weeks to utilize rest, utilize training, create, really emphasize on bringing the chemistry together. A week isn't a magic wand, but if your injuries are piling up, you're not resting your way into chemistry, You're just trying to get bodies on the pitch so the system stops creaking. I'm going to ask you out there, and I'm going to ask especially our panelists here, if Gomez is out and Dom is a doubt, what do we do? Do you try to patch the same ideas, or do you simplify everything for Spurs? What do you do for our team moving into this Spurs matchup?
Well, Bradley will come back in, won't he? Because he's available now. We've got nobody else at centre back than the two guys who were there. I will continue with Kirkhouse because he was good. Let's see what else. Gravenberch, McAllister, Wirtz, Jones, Szoboszlai. There'll be an odd man out there. That's if Szoboszlai's fit. If he's not fit, I don't know who's going to play on the right. He'll think of something. He'll have something in mind if Szoboszlai's not fit. But I was liking the way we were playing there with them on the right, liking Wirtz inside. We'll see anyway. It's not long, is it, till the game now? Well, it is, I suppose. We've got a full week, haven't we? Which is unusual. I'm glad from Arnie's point of view that we got a full week. He did say, I wish it was more on the training pitch, and hopefully he will be a bit at least. In this week, he'll have them on the training pitch, go, this is how we're going to win. You know what I mean? Get the clue, get the idea, this is how we're going to do it. And I hope it pays dividends for us next weekend. And it is nice to get a rest. I'm into it. Yeah, I like it, even though we've been knocked out the Carabao Cup. I'm not arsed, mate. We get a rest. And that might help us. That can only help, I think. The rest, yeah. The rest and the time on the training pitch and to get the plan together to beat Spurs. Because if we can do that, then we've got two very winnable home games against Wolves and Leeds. I think we can beat both of them. So if we can pull off a win at Spurs, that'll be 5 wins. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you know where I'm coming from. If we can pull off a win at Spurs, we can go on from there. Then that can be a proper springboard for the rest of the season to get back to where we need to be, which is right up Arsenal's arse, or as close as possible, to Arsenal's arse, because we're way off it at the moment, aren't we? And there's some half-assed teams in front of us in the league. But, it is still early, and the table throws up surprises sometimes. But, yeah, I'm hoping that we can get a win at Spurs. And it's not like we never win at Spurs. I mean, we won well enough there last season. Even though we conceded 3 goals, we scored twice as many as they did. So I don't see why we can't win there against Frank. Frank's a different coach to Ange, yeah. More based on defence and that, and solidity. But he's not having a great time of it, is he? So far at Spurs. They have got good players. They've got good players throughout the side. I think Spurs' team is quite good. They've just got to get themselves in a rhythm. But I don't want to see that rhythm until they've played us. You know what I mean? If it comes at all. If it comes at all.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Well, then, hopefully you're ahead of me, Trudon. So, okay. At least I have something to look forward to. Oh, it just happened right now. And welcome to the old toilet. Flush that one down.
Castle Grayskull was my favourite name for Old Trafford. It's from the Cop magazine from a couple of decades ago, but it always tickled me ribs.
Yeah, Castle Grayskull. Yeah, little He-Man right there. Well, if Szoboszlai can't go, and let's hope that that's not the case, obviously. But if Szoboszlai can't go, then who carries the tempo for us? Who's going to be that person that carries the tempo, the creativity, that whole that load that Szoboszlai carries? So McAllister has to step up now. Is it Wirtz that you're going to now put that workload on, or is it someone else? Who do you think needs to really be that person? It's a big question. You can answer if you like before we move on.
Sorry, run it by me again, that one.
If Szoboszlai can't go, who carries the tempo? Who carries that
Oh,
Szoboszlai?
that's a hard question. Maybe Jones. He could even play out there in the way Szoboszlai has been doing, as a midfielder, playing out wide. Do you know what I mean? You can push him out there. Like, maybe you could put Gakpo out there very easily. He's played on the right hand side before, and he's right-footed. Might give him a chance of getting some good crosses in, who knows? But Chiesa as well as another shout. I'm just thinking if he wants to keep it the way it's been, compact with a lot of central midfielders, it might be Jones who'd step in that case. And obviously McAllister would come back in then in the middle.
Okay. You can tell us who you think in the chat or even in the comments, if you're watching the replay especially. Be a part of the conversation by answering in the comments, and we always take a look at them. We always try to address them as best we can. But with Bradley back, I guess we have to immediately start him, right? That's also real quick before we move on. You think Bradley has to start at right back for us?
Definitely, yeah. He's got to. There's no one else, is there?
I mean, Calvin Ramsey is on the team, so there is that option. I wish we would give Calvin Ramsey a little bit of a look, to be honest with you. I don't think he's a bad player.
He's not, and he's an option. He's an option. It gives us an option on the bench because I don't feel Endo's an option, mate. You know what I mean? Endo's a player who thrives centrally in a game. You don't want Endo out wide, mate, either high up the pitch or low down the pitch.
Right. Yeah, that's my point. It's like I'd rather see him than an Endo or some other stopgap in that position.
Yeah, well, it's his position, isn't it? That's his favourite position. He is a right back, which does help. But I mean, Bradley would be picked all day ahead of him for Spurs, providing he's fit and ready, and he'll be on the bench, won't he? Ramsey.
Yeah.
And he's coming useful as a possible spare, because if say Bradley was to go off against Spurs, he'd have to come on then, unless of course Szoboszlai is fit and playing, and then he does his usual and puts Szoboszlai back there. But I'm a bit tired of seeing Szoboszlai's talents wasted. He does a great job at right back, but it's nothing more than a stopgap for me. You know what I mean? Needs must. It's not something that I like seeing because he's wasted back there. Szoboszlai, he needs to be further up the pitch.
Casemiro should have gotten a red card for that, by the way. That was a goal. That was a goal scoring opportunity, and he just got bailed out. Casemiro knows he's not catching him. So he just ends up taking the player out. Casemiro is sometimes he could be such a tactically dirty player. But that's all good. You need those kinds of players on your team. Well, let's move on. Now, speaking of exposure, let's talk about a moment that had the whole stadium during the collective gasp, and that was the Wirtz, getting studs put into Wirtz's midriff. High contact is a decision that still doesn't sit right with a lot of us, and that's why I'm bringing it back up, even though we did talk about it yesterday. And here's what happened. Wirtz took a nasty high challenge. The Brighton player gets a yellow. VAR checks it, and they say, stick with yellow. The explanation basically says it wasn't excessive force, not a serious foul play. And it is now 3-2. It is now 3-2. Get in there. Great free kick, by the way. It is now 3-2. Excellent. Oh, yeah. This is not a hate-along watch, by the way. This is just let's have fun with watching some football in the background, but I do hate United, so there it helps a little bit when they get scored on, that's all. Oh, wow. Tavernier. Wow, found the perfect spot right in between the wall. Right in between Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes jumped kind of the wrong way, then blames his teammate. Good old Captain Bruno. But yeah, look, the explanation that they gave was poor, I think. Because sometimes the problem with officiating is not that it's corrupt. It's that it's inconsistent in logic. It's inconsistent with the way that they make their calls and then give some justification for it. And then the very next week, change that justification to fit another term. Fans can accept harsh calls. I can accept them. If that's the way it's going to be, okay, that's the way it's going to be. But fans can't accept mistakes. What fans can't accept is when the logic seems to change depending on the day. And former refs and pundits looking at this penalty, all said that's a red, undeniably. Not because we hate Brighton, not because we want drama, but because the risk is the point. Studs that high, you're playing with someone's ribs, someone's chest, someone's lungs. That's not football. That's reckless. The only relief is Wirtz escaped injury. Because if Liverpool lost Wirtz, right now, on top of everything else that we're battling with, you're talking about removing one of the only players who can produce a moment of invention when games go dry that we have on this team. So before we move on, I'll make this a quick recap again of that injury. Do you trust VAR when it comes to the protection of players anymore, Lee?
No. It's at the whim of people, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It's at the whim of the officials. So no, I don't trust it.
Don't agree with the red shout, but the free kick was a cracker. Still expect the keeper to do better. I don't think Pops doesn't hate the Red Devils. Is that what you're saying, Pops? I guess. I mean, hate's a strong word. I guess you could say that, but I don't. I dislike the Red Devils. How about that? Especially with the way that the Red Devils I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a '90s kid, and during the '90s, if you're a Red Devil fan and you're a Liverpool fan, Red Devils were harsh. They were harsh to us Liverpool fans. Very, very, very cruel, and they enjoyed it. And now it's almost like a day of reckoning for them with the way their club is at right now. That's how I see it.
Sure is. I have an intense disliking for them, in fact. So there you go. But it's only based on football, you know what I mean? I don't hate people from Manchester. That's retarded to hate people because of where they come from. I hate them because they're Man United fans, and that's it.
Yeah, that's where my disdain for.
I've always got on well with Mancunian people when I used to visit there a lot when I was younger. But it's always the Man United fans from the south of England who are the biggest wankers. When you go on holiday and meet them, they're always massive wankers. Or if you go to South England yourself and meet Man United fans, they're always massive wankers to you because you're a Scouser and make loads of really pitifully stilted jokes about stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, mate, that's hilarious. But, anyway, you know what I mean. We all have
got some good. I've got a couple of friends that are Red Devil fans that are cool. I talk with them openly about football, and a lot of them, especially the ones from Europe or England, especially, they tend to enjoy the fact that someone on this side of the pond cares and follows the team so openly and so passionately. So we end up having very, very enlightened conversations. But
yeah, my most enjoyable verbal jousts in the flesh, away from the internet, with United fans have always been somewhere else. When I've been on holiday and encountered them, and it's never been ones from Manchester. They're always the southern ones, and they're a bunch of assholes. A lot of them. I'm sure there's some nice Southern United fans, but the ones
I'm sure. Yeah, we're not trying to make sweeping generalizations on it, but
I don't mind if people are actually funny when they banter you. Like, it's when they're not even funny. You're like,
yeah. When it's not even like that much, you can tell they haven't put that much time and attention into the joke. It's just like, all right, come on. But anyway, yeah. All right, well, let's move on then. Let's move on. I don't want to lose any more people over the Red Devil. The Red Devils and let's just all get along. I'm going to say Spurs reality check, which is what we have. A Spurs reality check is what this game is going to be. We've played some teams that we probably should. I think despite our record or our form, people in the beginning of the year certainly wouldn't have put in Brighton as a game that was going to be circled as, can we win it type game. But we've gone 5 games now, and we've been unbeaten in 5. Sure, I would have loved to have 5 straight wins, but it is a case where we do have at least some W's connected to that tally. And Tottenham away is one of those games where you don't get to hide at in North London. It's tempo, it's transition, it's space in between lines. It's getting to second balls. It's moments where your defensive decisions have to be instant, not debated. And Liverpool right now cannot walk into this game with this "we'll figure it out as we go" type energy. That's my point. Not with a patched up defense, not with a midfield full of now some uncertainties, not with the emotional noise around Salah and AFCON hanging over for another month now. This is a match where Liverpool needs to be grown-ups about it. And that means, what I mean by that, for people to react, and that means stop gifting corners. Stop getting cute in your own third. Protect central spaces. And if we take the lead, don't treat it like a temporary loan. And that's exactly that. We need to definitely focus on not actually, another point I probably should have put in here, succeeding early. Like, as in, do not concede early. Our record when we let up the first goal, as opposed to our record when we score first, is night and day. Do you want to be in this game coming up, Lee? Do you want Liverpool to go into this game of Spurs being progressive, being bold, being brave, into a lot of this, as our mentality, or do you want to go into this game against Spurs conservative, allow for things to kind of like develop and kind of like play by ear? What's your vision?
Well, at the beginning of the game, we've got to have a look at what they're trying to do, get the measure of them, and then beat them with our plan. And it'd be nice if we started really fast, like we did against who was it in the last? No, in the last game when Ekitike scored after second. Brighton. It'd be nice if we started really fast. Sorry, forgot that. If we started fast,
you could have said Leeds too. That's why. Because Leeds, he scored a brace in Leeds too, and then
with it being away from home, and they are a decent side with some decent players. Quite decent throughout the team. Maybe their attack's a little bit limp, but they still know how to score goals. Hopefully we'll get the measure of them though, like within the first 15-20 minutes, and be able to get in front. And then see what happens. Don't want us to go behind not against a coach like Frank. But even if we did, it wouldn't necessarily mean the result was gone if we went behind. But I'd like us to keep up with what we've done in the last couple of games and score the first goal. Then we'll have a real chance of getting the points. And as I said before, the 2 home games following Spurs away are eminently winnable. We have Wolves and then Leeds. That's defo 6 points we can get if we can get 3 against Tottenham. And then all of a sudden, like, the grey clouds have lifted, haven't they? We'll have 5 wins on the spin. Everything will be back to normal and we'll all be looking a lot cheerier, won't we? The frown lines in all our foreheads will be disappearing a bit, like, that's been lately, hasn't it? Like, I've frown lines all over my head lately, like, from watching Liverpool play.
Yeah, it has not been easy. Not been easy at all. Let's see. What has been our record? Pull this up here. Yeah, in the last 5 games, we are 3-2. 3 wins, 2 draws, and no losses. It's a very, very different situation than the 3 straight wins, 3 straight losses that we had to deal with. Before that, with Manchester City and Forest and PSV. But we need to get this consistency really flowing. That's the big difference maker in a lot of this. We have to see ourselves really consist of some real strength. But how is it important about how we win in this game coming up against the Spurs? Because especially with now that Salah's not going to be even an option to bring off the bench, much less option to even be talked about as being a starter.
I mentioned Gakpo before, and he's not even fit as a possible to play on the right. He's not even fit, is he, Cozy? No, so that rules him out. I mean, Chiesa, if Szoboszlai's injured, Chiesa then would, or Jones, like I said, if he wants to move. The way Szoboszlai's been playing that position where he's been wide, but he's also been coming inside a lot, hasn't he? To help out in the middle, like, and not to have numbers in the middle. Maybe he'll do that, like, and push Jonesy out there. I think he will be more receptive to doing it, maybe, than McAllister or anyone else would, like. So that might be an option, but if not, Chiesa, if Gakpo can't start and there's no Salah and Szoboszlai's injured, then it could be Chiesa on the right from the start, couldn't it?
It could be. It could be. A lot of people could get their wish, and that is to finally see Chiesa possibly start, if not at least get some quality minutes in a game. How about that? But would you accept an ugly win at Spurs if it meant, like, as long as is that important to you, how we win the game, or like as in is an ugly win acceptable, or would you be disappointed if we don't show some more progression towards getting better, I guess you say, or getting more, finding the team that's gelling more?
Well, we've got less options at the moment, so I suppose that, like, in its own way, can present less problems for Slot because he hasn't got as many options. You want him to have as many as possible at the moment. Salah and Gakpo won't be options, and possibly Szoboszlai. We know Joe isn't an option anymore, so he's just going to have to make the best of what he's got. What he does have is 2 fit forwards, though. We mustn't forget, like, you know what I mean? Both the forwards
relatively fit.
Yeah, fit. Well, Alexander's fit enough anyway to play a good part, and that could be from the start against Spurs. He could
I'm saying,
come off later. Yeah,
I'm saying relatively fit because Isak had gotten a knock in the game previously before the Brighton game. He didn't ended up staying. He was on the bench, but he also, not only was he on the bench, he played limited minutes. And when he did get subbed in, it was because Ekitike had just absolutely exhausted himself out there to the point where he was like, his legs were about ready to just conk out. So what I mean by two relatively good forwards, yes. I'm hoping that they can continue to use. I'm hoping they can use this week of rest as an opportunity to kind of get their legs underneath them and get some real, not only form, but also continue to get their fitness underneath them. Because that's what a lot of people would say was Isak. It's not that you don't think he's a good player. It's more so you think that he's dealing with this fitness. And I know it's late in the season, and everyone's like, "Oh, he should be healthy, or he should be ready by now." But it's still not an easy ride for him. It seems like, apparently. If you had to pick a control player, then who's going to be our control player in this game? If Dominic Szoboszlai is the heart and soul of the team right now, with the way that he embodies the efforts of the club out there with the intensity and the all out energy. Who are we going to rely on as a control player? Someone that we would have like our Luchos or our or I'm trying to think of some other players that we would normally rely on. But those players that can kind of you can pass it to them. The team can regain their shape. They can take on the opposition on their own if they wanted to. Who's going to be that control player?
Wirtz.
Do you have one, Lee? Wirtz? Okay. All right.
Wirtz, yeah.
Yeah.
Wirtz, I'm McAllister can help him out, and grab him. But
I was going to say McAllister. That's why I was kind of. I didn't want to say the answer without hearing your first answer, but that's why I was asking that question. I don't know if the chat feels the same.
Including that fourth midfielder, if that's the road we go down against Spurs. Because lately we've been doing that 4 midfielders, 2 forwards, instead of 3 midfielders and 3 forwards. So if that carries on, I'd expect to see Jones possibly pushed out to the right in Szoboszlai's stead, while Szoboszlai is injured. I'm hoping he isn't, though. And it has to be said, Jones doesn't really deserve to lose his place, even if Szoboszlai's fit. But I do really like McAllister and rate McAllister. He's an important player for us. When we play, when we were playing really well last season, he was playing really well and was an integral part of that.
He was our best midfielder last season,
and that's been Arne's plan all along. To put it, I think, was to put Wirtz in the 7 with McAllister and Gravenberch behind him, and we've not really seen that a lot because he ain't been that fit, has he, McAllister? He ain't started that many games this season, and when he has, he's looked a bit ropey because he didn't look fully fit after missing pre-season. But, I believe that was Arne's main plan. And having Szoboszlai out on the right with that as well, with them 3, I like it. And this is what I'm wanting to see why Mo's are AFCON. This is why I'm really crossing my fingers about Szoboszlai's injury, that it isn't an injury, it's just a knock that he can get rid of, because he has got a week to get rid of it, whatever type of knock it is on his ankle. If it's a ligament, fucked, he's going to be out for a while, but it doesn't sound like we'll be seeing Joe again for a while, so I hope things aren't the same with Dom, because we really will miss him. He's been our best player this season. Everyone realises and acknowledges this. He's been our best player by a country fucking mile, hasn't he, this season, Dominic Szoboszlai?
I mean, the shouts for the red armchair supporter. Couldn't get that out right. I think we're spot on. I think that Jones could be a shout. I think that obviously Wirtz is a natural selection, but I think Jones or McAllister are natural selections back there. So maybe you see a midfield of a Jones, McAllister, Wirtz, and Grav, basically being that diamond or that box 4, or however you want to look at it. I think that's what's going to be our future going forward with these next couple of games, at least. If Dominic's available, different story. If he ends up having a return later on in our campaign, that creates another issue in itself. So, all right, let's move from match control to club control. How about that? Because Liverpool's next big tension point isn't the Spurs press; it's contract pressure, and Konaté is right in the middle of it as usual this season, because that's what it's been. It's been contract extension offer denied, extension offer denied. Because Konaté's Ibu's contract situation is turning into a stare down. Basically, Liverpool want him. Liverpool, but Liverpool want him at Liverpool's number, meaning they want him at the price they think he is a good value at, and he wants to be, and he wants to be paid like it. And the tricky part is, this isn't just salary; it's hierarchy. It's the post-Virgil future, possibly. It's who's the next defensive face of this club. Konaté wants to position himself as that guy. Liverpool may want him to be that guy, but Liverpool don't want to pay him like that guy right now, because currently paying him at that price doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Ibu, I know no one likes. I know people don't like to talk about other people's money, and I'm not trying to get there with that. But what I am trying to get at is, right now, your form doesn't necessarily scream that you should be getting paid as a top 5 center half in the league. It just doesn't. And what does the player do? He tries to create a market. He tries to make big club circle so Liverpool feel pressure, and that's natural. I get that. But that's only when the market hasn't moved the way he wants. And that's exactly what has happened. The market has not moved the way he wants. Right now, it is a buyer's market for center halves, for clubs at least. There are a nice number of center halves that are either available by their contracts coming up, or available under just the tense that teams would look to possibly sell. Now, the bigger club angle, it's been reported that Hughes is looking at 2 center backs. I mentioned Hughes and everything, and that's big for us. Not 1, but 2 center backs is what we're looking at as a possibility. And if that's true, it tells you something big. It tells you that Liverpool are not betting the defensive future on good vibes and late signatures. You don't shop for 2 center halves unless you think depth is generally insufficient, and or exits are generally possible, i.e. Ibu, and or the club is preparing for a future where the current pairing isn't the guaranteed pairing.
Mate, I've got to say this, but I'm just looking at Hylow's comment right there about it's been loud and clear from Real that they don't want him. And there is a certain amount of schadenfreude in that, because his form so far this season has been abysmal. And it's no wonder they don't want to buy him, given his current form. That leaves us with the question, like, how do we improve his form? Like, is it all gone out of his head now? Does he still want to move? Because apparently he's turned down 2 deals. And given what he's showed us so far this season, I'm not that keen for him to stay. He's a guy who's got to massively up his performances in the next 3 league games. You know why we're not playing any fucking cup games and we want to climb back up the league? I want to see 8s and 8.5s from him at the back with Virgil. Nothing less will do me. If we get less than that, then I can't wait for him to leave. He can go to PSG and go back to Paris, like where he's from, innit? You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a bad move for him, surely. Like, the club of his area, the area he's from. So on this season's form, mate, we're not missing nothing. That's how strongly I feel about how shit he's been. He's got a lot of making up to do to me and to the rest of the fans from where I'm sitting, and that a better start away to Spurs at the weekend, and then carry on against Wolves and Leeds.
Yeah. It's now 3-3, by the way. Bruno Fernandes just equalized off a free kick. Well taken free kick, by the way. Made the goalkeeper guess the wrong way. He went to his right, and Bruno went for upper left corner, or upper left corner if you're looking at from a goalkeeper's perspective. Upper right corner if you're looking at from Bruno's perspective. It is now 3-3. The Manchester United captain has just equalized in the 78th minute. And we move. It's a game, people. It is definitely a game. 6 goals
Master
so far.
Splinter's powers are eternal. Master Splinter's powers never fade. Even with the intervening decades since we last seen him on television, Master Splinter is still going strong in a Man United kit.
There you have it. Look, Gay is still discussed as a fit for Liverpool. Premier League ready. Composed, has an exceptional leader traits. There's the French player, Jacques, excuse me, Jacques or Jacques. Jacques, is that how you say it?
Okay, yeah.
Jacques. And he's a younger profile. It's 4-3.
No way. What, hang on. 2-0?
Cunha.
Asking 4-3 to the scum. No way. What a topsy-turvy game.
Yeah.
I like Cunha. I was talking about that in pre-season long before we bought any forwards that I liked him and thought he had a bit of style. But there you go. No. He's shown it at last in the United shirt.
No. He just kissed the Manchester United badge. Do you want that player?
Oh, much to my chagrin.
He's got cooties now, I think. Just playing around.
Mate, he's in touch with dark powers. He's in touch with dark powers. They've got the devil on their bloody badge, mate. Kissing the badge.
I know. You're kissing the devil, basically. It's scary.
It is. That's scary. I could just see Fergie overseeing a satanic mass in robes and that with his face hidden, and it's Fergie.
What?
Like in the ninth.
I know where you're going with this, but I mean, like, yeah. Jeez. Gonna have Al Pacino playing Fergie in a role, right?
No.
Keanu Reeves.
He knows too good. We'd have to get someone. We get someone lame, get someone bad to play Fergie.
All right. You have to get someone bad. Yeah. I don't know who played Fergie. But who cares? Right now, it's 4-3, 81st minute of this game. 7 goals in this game. 7 goals at Old Toilet. Wow. Well, I was just saying, there are 2 different types of players, 2 different purposes. One, immediate reliability. One, maybe with a better long-term ceiling. There's other players that are there's other players that could be moved for, and I like the fact that this report saying that Hughes isn't going to go for just 1, but he's going to go for 2 center halves. I like that. I like hearing that. Even if you do sign Konaté, I still would like to see you sign 2 center halves, because unfortunately, the availability and the fragility of Joey is tough. It's tough to go through a whole campaign with that as being the option. We have a youngster that I hope bounces back immensely. And apparently he's going to be back with the club in January in Lione. but I want to have 2 players that can absolutely either rotate and, most notably, compete with even Virgil van Dijk for his place. That's what I would like to see. Someone that would make this with the same, issues, or I guess maybe we'll have to deal with those same type of issues. I doubt it, but even if we did have to deal with those type of issues that we're dealing with Salah, that's something. That's a bridge we'll deal with when we get to it. But I would like to see two top-notch center halves brought into this team and really put into the fold for us. Do you think he's a replacement, or do you think he's an actual partner / rotation plan, or maybe a rotation plan? What is Gahey's role if we were to sign Gahey to his team? And what would you think of as a
right now, in January, his immediate role would be Virgil's partner. I wouldn't even give him time to bed himself in like a couple of weeks. I'd just lob him straight in the team upon arrival, because he's been playing his arse off for Palace for ages now. Every game, all their big games he plays, mate. He shows he can play a lot, and he could just come in and start playing a lot for us at Virgil's side. Simple as that.
Okay.
He would be the most obvious candidate that I would like in January, because he's been here a long time in our league. There's other candidates from outside the league that I would also like as well. See, the likelihood of him coming in January isn't that great. If Glasner put his foot down about him leaving in the summer and them not having a replacement, I can't see him wanting to let him go now, unless the only unless is if they've lined up what they see as a suitable replacement and they want that few bob we give them now to get him early. It all hinges on that. If not, we're really looking at players from different leagues. I like Slotterbeck. I've liked him for a while. I know Arne says it will be easy to get him off Dortmund in the January. And I'm sure that's true, because Dortmund are a huge club. But if we made them an offer they couldn't refuse, to coin a phrase, I'm sure they'd let him go. There's other targets who don't play for as illustrious a club as Dortmund who we could go for instead of Gahey, but we need someone, that's for sure.
Fun question for you guys out there, as it's just become 4-4, by the way. Kropi Jr. Just scored the 4th goal for Bournemouth.
Very nice. Not junior anymore. Junior, senior.
If I was the captain of Bournemouth, I would have walked over and said, great taken goal, which it was. It was a well-taken goal. Absolutely great goal. But, mon frere, do not do that celebration ever again. His celebration was where he did a front handspring into a backflip.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'd probably break my neck if I attempted to do that.
I know.
I'm sure I'd break my neck.
I'm sorry, but when it comes to those kinds of celebrations, I know you're feeling the moment. But still, no.
Yeah, you know what the internet's like? When I first got the internet, some of the things I looked at were bad accidents, and there were people doing half-assed backflips who landed badly, and you know
yeah,
the necks
exactly.
The last thing, to be honest, athletes know exactly what they're doing, and these are athletes.
I've seen. I was gonna say real quick. I've seen players hurt themselves.
Not to be attempted easily by the layman, who isn't an athlete. You know what I mean? Doing a somersault flip backwards. As I say, I know I would probably break my neck, and I'm still quite agile and that, and lithe, but not to that extent.
Yeah. What do you call those? What do you call those hats with the that the Peaky Blinders wear? You don't know? No, he's off making a drink or something. Yines Lyman. All right. Maybe, I guess, yeah, maybe he is excited about the goal bonus. Maybe something like that. I'm just saying, it just is funny. That's all. I just know that, like, the first thing when I saw him do a front handspring to a backflip, I was like, dang. I mean, this guy looks like he's like trying out for the Olympics. He's like, it's like the floor routine. I'm like, dang. I don't know. You never know. Like,
well, let's hope those sinister Red Devils don't get their noses back in front this time.
Let's see if these Bournemouth can push.
Yeah, brought back to parity for good.
Red Armchair Sports says he knows those hats. What are those hats called again? The hats that have like the hats that have that the Peaky Blinders used to wear.
Oh, like what, a flat cap? Something.
Flat cap, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the simple name for it or not.
Yeah,
but yeah.
My granddad used to have one of them. Don't know why. Like he had hair, but he liked flat caps anyway. Like despite not being bald. Yeah.
Is it called a sixpence? Is that what it's called? Is that what it's saying? It's called?
I don't know.
Big up, Ardo. Big up. Good to see you. Good to see you join the chat here.
Penny farthing. Oh no, that was a bike. Penny farthing was a bike.
All right. I'm just wondering. They just showed Fergie in the audience, and he's wearing one of those caps. That's why I was asking.
Oh right. Oh, good on him anyway. Good on him.
Still going to the game, even though he's not getting paid. I don't think he gets paid by them anymore, right? I don't think he used to get like something like $1 million or something ridiculous. He used to get like paid to just basically show up and sit in the seat and watch the games. I know you probably had more than that to do. Don't worry. I know. But yeah. We got a couple more segments here. We're at the hour mark here. This game is 4-4. They're in the 90th minute. They're approaching, or at least they're approaching extra time in this game, and it'll probably be going on while we wrap up this show. So we'll keep you abridged as to what's going on in that game as it happens. But this was a story that I thought was very interesting, and it's a two-part story actually. Salah had one of the strangest weeks of his Liverpool career. He does the interview. He drops the thrown under the bus line. Wow, 8 minutes, by the way. 8 minutes of stoppage time. He's left out of midweek. He returns, and Anfield applauds him like a man coming home. Then he delivers an assist, breaks a record, by the way, and posts the graphic like a reminder of the world, don't get cute with my legacy. Let me see if I can add the stat here. I have the photo. Oh man. Let me bring up this. I'm going to do my best to try to bring up the actual graphic that is.
I'm imagining Fergie looks happier tonight sitting in the stand, and I've seen him for quite a while because he probably thinks now like that we're not going to make it 21 this season and take his record away from him. But hopefully that'll come in the future, like, and he'll be alive and well at that point. He's recovered well from his illness, like, so I'm pleased about that. Like, he's a big football figure and that, like. Maybe another year, right? Maybe another year. But he gets to hold on to the joint record for now, don't he? So I'm sure he's happy in the stands for now.
Yeah. Tyler Adams, a player linked with Manchester United, actually. He was a player that's been linked with possibly going on. I saw Fabrizio talk about that in his update earlier today. I saw that, and he was speaking on how Tyler Adams is possibly being looked at as a answer to the DM role for them, at least for Manchester United is. But he was just taken out of this game with an early injury. And that's not good for U.S. men's national team hopes as well. But hopefully it's not serious.
Well, it's good to see that Mo's assist has nudged him ahead of that bald fraud Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well pointed out. How's that? How about that? You know how cheeky it is. You know how cheeky it is online. So I saw this put up, right? And it's recognition. He put it up himself, first off, but he put it as recognition of the great achievement he just performed before going to AFCON, excuse me. And that is he now has 277 GA for a single club in Premier League history. This is how cheeky the internet can be. I saw, let me see if I can bring it up here. I saw Grok, which is the AI for Twitter or X, right? They posted, here's a list of most GA for a single club in Premier League history, excluding penalties. Are penalties not goals now? Is that what we're saying? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm getting at with this?
Yeah.
Like, is that where we're at? Really, people? Trying to if you were to take penalties out of it, Ryan Giggs would be number one with 269. Wayne Rooney would have 255, and Mohamed Salah would have 245. That's still an achievement in itself.
Yeah, because Rooney did take pens, didn't he?
He took pens.
Not all the time, yeah. I'm not asked about Giggs anyway. Like, he's a dickhead. He's even worse than Rooney. Rooney's got a tragic rug, but at least he's a Scouser. Giggs has got no such excuse.
Hey, Red Armchair Sporty just said something I wanted to ask you a question on. It was a great corner from Mo, and it was. But lately, I will say this, Mo has been putting in some really good corners for us.
Yeah, because our corners have been shit this season.
They have been.
That's the first good one, mate. First time we've scored from one.
Yeah, in a while. The other great corner I saw us take was from the begrudged left winger on our team, Cody Gakpo, in that Frankfurt game when he set up the assist to our center half. I'm not sure if it was to VVD or to Ibu, but it was one of the two. Oh, I got us. Sorry. Almost 5-4 right there. Sorry about that. Had to react it to Bournemouth almost scoring a absolutely incredible goal. That's I don't even know if that was he needs to put it in a better location, but it was a good stop by the goalkeeper. We are in the 97th minute of 8 minutes of stoppage time in this game. Oh yeah, that was a good save. I'm not gonna kid. That was a good save by the goalkeeper. I will give Manchester United this, despite the 4-4 scoreline, their goalkeeper is an improvement over what's his name? Unani? What's his name?
Onana.
What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Onana. What's his name?
Yeah, what's this new bloke? I forgot now. Billy Lemons or something.
Yeah. I don't know his first name, but you're right.
It's Lemons, isn't it? His second name.
You asked for lemons. I asked for lime. I don't know what his name is, to be honest with you. He is. Xerxes is still with Manchester United. And not only is he still with Manchester United, he is a player that nice little shot. He is a player that might be on the move, to be honest with you. There's been some rumors that he would be possibly a January transfer, especially considering he has fallen out of favor. But then again, how much do you see Sesko? How often do you see Sesko for this team? For Manchester United, at least. That's what I'm speaking on. How much do you actually get to see Sesko? Sesko was just subbed in, I think, into this game.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he was subbed in
so they're obviously going to give him a late spin, aren't they? How long's left of the injury time?
Like 1 minute. This is probably like the last run right here.
Well, he's a big unit, isn't he, Sesko? If you get any, if you can pump any long balls at him, you might get a knockdown.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Cunha got the start in this game at that role. And hold on, wait for it. Oof. Sersky almost put one into a bad place. We're still waiting. It's going down to the very oof. This game is going down to the last minute. But it looks like that might be all she wrote. They headed the ball out. It's going to be a goal kick. They're pressing, but that might be all she wrote. We'll see how much extra time he puts on top of the 8 minutes, because we're now in the 100th minute of this game. Oh, he's going deep into this game. Oh. Bournemouth now pressing forward. Oh my goodness. Bournemouth should have won this game. Bournemouth should have just won. I'm sorry. Bournemouth should have just won this game.
Well, I hope he blows.
I don't understand. I don't get how Manchester United ended up beating us this year. Watching this game right now, I don't get how Manchester United beat us this year. And the reason why I'm saying that out loud right at this moment,
we beat ourselves that day. We were so bad that day that we beat ourselves. It just happened to be Man United that were the opposition.
I guess you could say it that way.
You know, got to give them credit for beating us, but we beat ourselves with such an abject performance.
There was some. Manchester United had a lot of touches in the box. They should have, if you look at the statistics, they should have probably won this game comfortably. But you look at some of the opportunities that Manchester United's defense gave Bournemouth, it is like, oof. Give that to Ekitike or Isak. I'm looking at like hat tricks. That's how many games they had, or how many opportunities they had in this game. They need to do better. But back to what we were saying about Salah. I want to be honest with it all, and I always am, but I want to be even more than honest. I understand both sides of the emotion. Fans want standards. Fans want accountability. Fans want players to run, to fight, to look like they care. Also, Dejan Lovren, I made a comment on his Twitter post. Bro, we all know that you love yourself some Mohamed Salah, but You're also a Liverpool Red, my friend. Like, stop adding to the fire. If you saw his comment, you would understand where I'm going with it. He ended up he basically with this feat he said something about what did he say? Something about like wait, hold on. I'll read the comment. I don't care. I'll read the comment. Why not? This is a cheeky comment. I was like, really, man? Why you got to stage on? Why do you got to even insert yourself into this conversation like that, man? Why? You like bitter that you're about your friend, or you're bitter about not being a Red anymore? The way that the Reds your Red career ended? Because that was a cheeky comment. While I look for it, Salah is one of the greatest modern day players in this league. That's obvious. And when he reminds you he's top of the list in goal involvements for one club, you feel that pride as a Liverpool Red. And even in a turbulent moment, you should. But now he goes on to AFCON, and it's not just he'll be gone. It's the entire January narrative becomes unstable with him. And that because AFCON removes him from selection, the transfer window opens, and every rumor feels louder when the player isn't physically in the building to put them to bed. So how do you feel about the accomplishment, Lee? And how do you feel about him kind of like putting that post there to be like, there, have that,
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it looks brilliant, looks super. It's good that you can just about see Gerrard's name at the bottom as well still. Even though he's down there on, 212, it's good to see him there. Aguero, Lampard, Henry, Kane, Giggs, Rooney, and at the top, our man Mo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this was the comment, basically. I'll share the screen so you can see it. This was the comment. Tell me how you feel about this. You can see my comment back too, by the way. But hold on. Bring this up here. This was the comment that he made. He says, Dejan Lovren said, "Not good enough, Mo. You need to cover your fullback." Obviously, trying to bring up a little tongue-in-cheek comment, a little cheeky style comment. I'm one that didn't. I actually did like Dejan Lovren as a Liverpool Red. I thought he brought a little bit of grit. He reminded me a little bit of like the in that you knew he had players' backs. If there was a scrap that was going to bust out. So I like that. He gave me kind of like Skirtle at maybe even Agar, Daniel Agar vibes and stuff like that. But I said, Dejan, I get that Mo is your close friend, but as a former Red, can you stop adding fuel to the fire? Those numbers don't happen in isolation. They're built with teammates, including the right back you reference. No need to tear others down to lift one player up, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't understand. Sometimes, we see who Dejan Lovren stands with. He stands with, obviously, Mohamed Salah in every which way. But, I mean, there's just something I just thought that was it's just unnecessary. I get it. Like Jamie Carragher's comments are harsh. They're rude at times. Sometimes they're spot on. But, I mean, realistically, that's Jamie being Jamie. Like, we don't need to start a Twitter war, like people taking sides. That's where I was going with that. All right. Well, do you think AFCON's going to solve the saga? Do you think it's going to calm the saga, I should say? Or do you think that by Salah being at AFCON, it's going to grow? It's going to give more fire, more room for this story to grow of does Salah come back to Liverpool and see out the season? Lee, you have an answer for that one?
What, do we think things have calmed down a bit now? Now he got on after 25 minutes. Well, it was a fairly
no. Does AFCON calm the saga? Does him going to AFCON calm the saga?
It does a little bit. It's not going to stop the stories. No way while he's there, they're not going to be stories. I'm waiting for them to see what they say. Like, but at some point during AFCON, we'll hear stories. But that was it. I mean, look, he was sort of forced into playing Mo when he had to make that sub. Because he really couldn't do anything else. But it worked out okay. He played okay and he come close. He did his part in the victory. You've got to give plaudits to everyone who played in the victory, and he played from 25 minutes on. And he played okay. All right, he might have scored with that other one if he was like on his game and that, like, and confident, he'd have scored that normally. But he played his part, and that's encouraging for the future when he comes back. The thing is, like, what's he coming back to? Hopefully, in a few weeks' time, we'll be playing really well and winning. So it might be hard for him to regain his place in the starting side on returning if we're on a winning run. If we've stacked up a load of wins in that time. But it was encouraging to see what he did anyway. That shows he can still do it and still be a threat. On another day, he might have got 2.
Ardo says, to be honest, Salah is a legend. He has given us great service and success, but we need to move on. He is not the future anymore. Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, and company are the ones that are the future. And Tyler says, when did Salah ever come back from AFCON and come back in better shape? That would be a first. But the noise has ended. There is nothing more to talk about. And speaking on my question, I have a interesting take, I guess you could call it then. And this is my own take. Jamie Carragher said a comment that probably was a low blow, but he did say it as a defense of, defending his point about how it's a team game. It's not all about individuals. Like, sure, individuals make contributions, but as a team, the team prospers as a collective, not as a individual effort. And the comment that I'm referencing was about when he brought up a comment about how Salah hasn't won AFCON with Egypt just yet. Now, obviously, Mane has, another great Liverpool legend. Mane won AFCON, and it was very, very symbolic for not only Mane's career, and accolades and legacy, but I thought it was also, it was kind of like it was important for Salah, I think, personally, with his career and with this just bringing something that he's always wanted to do, which is bring home that trophy for his country. I also think that there is the opportunity. This is just me, again, thinking out the cup. You can tell me if you think differently or not in the chat. Lee, when he gets back from his tea and crumpets, can tell me if he thinks differently or not. You can hear when he dips off. But but all noise aside, currently Mohamed Salah is not in the best of form. We all get that. However, I don't believe that Mane was in the best of form the year that he went back for AFCON and won AFCON. He wasn't in the greatest of form, I don't think. I might be wrong. You can correct me if I am. he performed exceptional, obviously having a final against Egypt, I believe, that year, right? And winning the trophy and returned to Liverpool, I think was more of the striker at that role in the role that he took on for us by that point, and absolutely pushed on by turning the page on his Liverpool existence, his legacy. I'm hoping, and maybe you don't see this or not, but I'm hoping that maybe some of all this attention to Salah, attention to his inadequacies in his inability and inadequacies of bringing a trophy to Egypt, and there's been some great Egypt teams, by the way, in AFCON, to not be able to do that as their talisman, that maybe he could have the same story arc that Mane had. That maybe going back to AFCON, and this is just going off of what Hylor said, and I understand he hasn't returned from AFCON always in the best of form, or better than when he left. But maybe AFCON could be an opportunity for him to get his swagger back, get his confidence back, get a trophy for Egypt, propel him into a status of understanding that it's about team. It's about, the ability to have that as something to kind of press off as a foundation. And that's just where I'm going with this one. I'm hoping that Salah can make the most of AFCON. I'm hoping that Salah does return to Liverpool and continues to play as a Red and contribute. But I'm saying that maybe he can utilize this opportunity of AFCON, of the sheer fact that he's not going to have too many more AFCONs. And this AFCON team, this Egyptian AFCON team, is an excellent AFCON team. I'm hoping that he can go back to Egypt, and where he plays most notably as a 10. Okay? Hear what I'm saying? As a 10, and he can blossom into into a player that is more reminiscent of the Salah that we knew before this season started. Someone that's adding to those GAs. Is that too much romanticism? Is that too far out of the box for you, Lee?
No,
and you can tell me.
Look, I hope he has a good AFCON, that he enjoys himself while he's away, and when he comes back, his head's a bit better, because there'll be at least 3 weeks or so separation for him now to get away from it all, and hopefully he'll come back a bit more relaxed and just get into the swing of things. As I said before, though, he might find it hard to regain a starting place when he returns if we're on a winning run by that point. And Arnie will be within his rights not to just grant him a starting place, but it'd be used, because that was as I said, it was a useful sub appearance. It was a good win, and he played most of the game. So we know he can still do it for us and be dangerous. On another day, as I said, he could have maybe had 2 goals. He could certainly have had 1 on another day. But so he's not useless yet to us. It's just that we're phasing him out as a must start, and a player that can't be dropped, or used as a sub. That's coming to an end, that period of his time at Liverpool now. And right. It's just age that's done it, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's wild. Something I said before was something that is starting to become a more used acknowledgement by even now pundits. I see starting to say this take, and that is because I saw John Barnes speak on this, because he got asked about the question by Carragher, and he was mentioning about the fact that it's less about Salah not having the ability to do the things that he can do, and more about the fact that Liverpool are transitioning from this not only 4-2-3-1, but maybe even from with this new formation or transitioning into something different that's going to call for him to be a different type of player, have a different role, maybe not be a full-time everyday starter. And it's not easy to transition from when you've been the man pretty much from day one, but it is something. I thought maybe. Egypt is certainly not favorites to win AFCON this time. Morocco is a clear favorite. You might call Egypt a contender at best, Hylor says. I didn't say they were favorites of the AFCON. I just said that they have a good team. I just think AFCON has a good team.
Morocco was massive at the World Cup, weren't they?
Yeah.
No wonder.
Morocco. Yeah. Morocco is obviously got a lot of talented players on it, and we saw that last World Cup. But I'm just trying to go across Hylor that I think that this AFCON team has talent. Certainly has talent, and it could be in a position to utilize Mohamed Salah as a player that, you know, creates a real presence. A real presence in there. By the way, Manchester United do sit in 6th. We sit in 7th place now in the table. We sit in 7th place simply because Manchester United have a better goal differential than us. We are at +2. They are at +4. But we are both sitting on 26 points. And that is the difference. The only difference between our clubs at the moment is that we have we lack in the +2 range. Van Dijk had an interesting thing to say because I want to get into the last segment. This isn't the last segment. This is the segment before the last. But Van Dijk had something to say I thought was really touching and really important for us to hear. I want to bring it out because I know that there are some that think that Virgil van Dijk is not a good leader, or that he's not properly equipped to be a Liverpool leader. He's not equipped to be a leader in general, or our captain. I think that those assessments are off base, and I think that some of them are agenda driven, but that's just my opinion. Virgil says this when it came to the Salah saga, and that is, Virgil says Liverpool are united. Not Manchester United, but I mean we are united in that he says we go forward as one. He praised Slot on the calm handling of the situation. And he basically frames this as a moment where the club can either fracture or prove its character. And I'll say this. When a captain speaks like that publicly, it's rarely random. It's usually either a real reflection of the dressing room or a necessary message because the outside noise is becoming dangerous. And it could be a combination of the two. Either way, it's leadership trying to put a lid on the chaos, because there has been reports that the only reason why Mohamed Salah and Arne Slot had a sit down was because Virgil van Dijk played peacemaker. And as fans, we can argue details, but we can't ignore the truth. Liverpool do not have the luxury of internal wars right now, not with form wobbling the way it is, not with the injuries that we're trying to get through, not with AFCON removing a massive piece, no matter how you look at it, of the attack. Do you believe this message, Lee, by Virgil van Dijk? Or do you feel like it's crisis management? I'm not saying it's fake. I'm saying, do you believe someone saying clubs have to stay united more loudly when they need people to act like it? Like, do you believe that this is like a genuine statement, or do you believe it's just PR? Oh, Lee, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I am here. Yeah. Bit of both, like just a statement in it, like not a big deal.
Do you believe that we look? Do you believe that we look? Do you believe that the solidarity of what he's talking about is truly there, or do you think that he's just again? Do you think that's just just saying that? I honestly do think that this club has had some fractures happen because some players are learning how and what it means to play and be a part of the Liverpool way, if you want to call it that. But I still think that it's got to be a quick read. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think going to AFCON, like, things will calm down a bit over it. And when he comes back, hopefully we're in better shape as a side, and that'll help him perform better if we're performing better as a side. If the Brighton game was anything to go by, then we've got nothing to worry about. He can still be useful and be a danger for us, like, when he comes back from AFCON. So we just have to see how much game time he gets, like, and where that'll tell us where his and Slot's relationship is at, how much game time he gets or doesn't, as the case may be. But for now, I'm quite chilled about it, yeah. And I hope he has an enjoyable AFCON and it's, good for him. It's not like a bad one where he comes home dead early and gets loads of stick. I want that to happen to him. But yeah, so I just hope things go all right when he comes back. But as I said, hopefully we'll be in a winning way when he comes back. And that being said, he might find it hard to get back in the team every week, like.
Well, can you get behind? What if my football romantic version of what Salah utilizes this AFCON journey for? What if he does pick up some real, form, and he's tearing it up for Egypt, and he comes back and he's got that swagger, and he's fully committed, and he's had enough of a break from Liverpool to come back and recognize the fact of what makes Liverpool so special to him and how he doesn't want to lose that. So he commits even more of himself to making it work and not being some obstacle in the path towards the future. Do you think that could happen? Do you think that could happen, or do you think that some people think it's already a lost cause? Basically, that's what I'm trying to get across.
Well, it'll be interesting to see in the long run what FSG value him at, because we all know they're not going to let him go for nothing if he leaves in the summer. So it'd be interesting to see how they value him. And I think they could value him at a price that's not too put offish like to the Saudi club. So it's not like we're taking the piss saying, "Oh, you've got loads of money, we want loads of it." Just something that's acceptable for us, for him after the service he's given us and the years he's given us, and then might be moving on. I don't see a lot of other moves for him because of the fee and the wages. Don't see unless PSG fancy it, but they've moved away from that model of having huge names on huge wages, and they're going more for younger players. So I mean, who else is there out there?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Very, very true. I did have one more segment, but I'll save that segment for tomorrow because it's a little bit of a lengthy one. Excuse me. And like I said, I'm a little under the weather, so but I'm doing my best to give you some good content here. And there was something that I wanted to end the show with anyway. So let me get this for you guys. Let me get this correct for you. Hold on one second. Let me make this. So this is like your moment. I'll leave you with like a little moment of Zen. We're at the hour and 45th minute of the show here. So I'll leave you with a moment of Zen here. I think. Hold on. I'll just make sure that because I can play the actual content here because it's someone's personal video. Hold on one second. I'll get it so it's better because I don't know if I had the volume on it. All right. Here's your moment of Zen. Tell me guys what you think about this. This was something I saw. I thought it was funny. I thought it was certainly cool because it involves one of my favorite players who ever have put on a Liverpool red kit. Tell me how you feel about this as your Liverpool 12th man moment of Zen for you. Here you go.
ده مين ده؟ النهارده احنا رايحين نقابل فيرمينو اهو يا اسطى فيرمينو اهو فيرمينو how are you؟ والله يلا وحسن good معلش باك you okay brother Mbappé how are you okay Mbappé how are you good brother yes Messi
That's brilliant.
Oh man. All right, let me get this. Take this down here for you. The fact that I love it. So I thought that was hilarious.
Was enjoyed that.
Yeah, a little fun with it. Have a little fun, a little moment of Zen there for you. Enjoy life while life is certainly not something to take lightly. So when you have the opportunities to enjoy it, sit back and maybe have a laugh. That husband, the face that he made when he saw the Virgil impersonator walking up to him. What's about to happen here? What's going on?
It was when the Allison fella goes, "Hi, I'm Allison Becker."
Yeah, I know. Oh man, it was funny. I forget who he said who the other guy was. He wasn't in an outfit. He was just in his regular clothes, so I couldn't tell who he was trying to impersonate. But it was cool because he was picking them out. He was like, Bobby's like, "Oh, Messi, how are you? I get it. How you doing?" Oh man, I thought that was pretty funny. But again, we're gonna be live tomorrow. Hopefully Lee will be with us, available and with us tomorrow. Maybe all depends. Nolante's got a new shift, so if Nolante is available, cool. But obviously, most important is that you join us tomorrow and help us continue to help this channel grow. Yeah, let's bringing out the greats there. Bringing out the greats. He walked up in the Virgil kit. I'm sorry, that's just gotta be funny. But anyways, it was pretty cute. Bobby still got it. Bobby's one of those cool people too, by the way. You've got to admit that. Bobby we want Bobby's one of the prime reasons why I want to learn Portuguese. Brazilian Portuguese, that is, by the way, which is slightly different than Portugal Portuguese. But he is definitely one. So that if I do ever have the pleasure of meeting Bobby, we can chop it up and be able to communicate.
Yeah, his family are dead nice. They had a 2-part documentary on LFC TV where he went to Brazil and met like Firmino's family, and they're lovely.
Yeah.
His mum and dad are dead nice and that, and they were crying at like how much we loved him and that, like it was so sweet. And he's got a sister that looks quite a bit like him, Bobby. She's actually quite nice, actually, like, but she does look a bit like Bobby.
His daughter. You mean his daughter?
His dad, his mum, and his sister were on it. He's got more siblings, but I think it was only one sister. He looks like his mum for me, let's say that. She was lovely, dead sweet, his mum. She was crying, when she heard like the song and that, and how much we loved them and that, like it was dead sweet.
Yeah. It's funny. That smile, it's that Bobby smile, I think, that really does it. Bobby's smile is definitely electric. It can make a good day. Make a bad day turn into a good day. But
it's a splendid fellow.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully you guys are entertained and enjoyed that little channel moment of zen there. Any opportunity I can play something, especially where it's not like copywritten or something like that, with Bobby or any of the legends, current legends, or even former legends, I am all about it. So big up to Bobby, his family right there, even to the impersonators. That was funny. That was definitely pretty funny. Do you want to say anything to the people before we make a move?
Just cheers, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your contributions. We'll see you again.
Yeah, definitely. To each and every one of you, certainly take care of yourselves. Make sure, like I said, make sure you take care of yourselves through your health and everything. But also be sure to check in and take care of your loved ones as well. Important to do that, to keep that connection alive. We appreciate the support as always. We appreciate you dropping a like, sharing the channel, obviously commenting, doing all that jazz. Most notably, bringing people to the subscriptions tally and keeping it moving, because that's what we do here at Liverpool 12-man channel. We are going to just continue to move forward and correct. So big up to each and every one of you. See you guys tomorrow. As always, up the Reds and take care.